why do you feel people are fearful of AI, and maybe why shouldn't they be?
Think the fear of AI is probably rooted in science fiction, from movies like The Terminator or Age of Ultron, if you're a Marvel fan, other things, other kind of entertainment and sci-fi films. I do think there is risk with AI for sure. Put that out there, but I think that it is much less than people think. I think we're progressing very quickly at the moment, but I'm not sure that the rate at which we're progressing, I'm not sure that it's going to become like an existential threat anytime soon. And I also think there's a lot of ways to curb it. So, from kind of existential threat standpoint, I think it's rooted in sci-fi, but I don't think that it is actually going to be a reality. As far as other kind of common perceptions, the most is just jobs. So people are afraid of losing their job to a AI or a robot, which is definitely a valid concern. But it's the same thing with any technology. You know, back in the day when the bicycle came out, people wanted to ban the bicycle. And that's a great example of just the average consumer and their kind of reluctance to accept and adopt new technology. Whereas, today, if we heard someone wanting to ban the bicycle, we'd call them crazy. So I think it's more of a time thing than anything, but I don't think that people should fear it because at the end of the day, a lot of the tasks and things that you hate doing at your job right now are going to be removed, and you'll really get to spend the time doing what you love. And at Robertson, that is kind of our core thesis around AI internally is we want to help leverage it. We want to help our employees all leverage AI so that they can do what they and focus on what they love most about their job. They don't have, we don't want them sitting there and working on a spreadsheet for 8 hours a day, and really not liking themselves for that because we can automate that soon. So I think that the biggest benefit will be allowing people to really focus on things that they love doing and things that they're great at. And some things AI will not be able to replace from a human standpoint, and those things will become even more important as the technology progresses.
Yeah, what do you think will never be replaced?
I think general human intuition and kind of gut feeling. I think that would be extremely hard to replicate. And I think that from a creativity standpoint, at least in the time being, there's specific limitations. And I think long term, there will likely still be specific limitations to creativity. And I think that one of the biggest strengths when you're using AI, and that will continue to be important for people as they're looking to develop and refine skills to better take advantage of this technology, really is communication. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need to be able to communicate with these systems, and the better that you communicate with them, the better that they will communicate with you. And so, if you give it, a good example is if you're talking to a chatbot and you say, "Hey, write me an email for a sales email," it'll give you a really generic sales email. But if you say, "Hey, write me a sales email for this company, I want it tailored at this, person. Here's their title. Here's what I want the email about. Give me 3 bullet points," and you're very specific and clear and communicative about what you want it to be, it's going to give you a great result. So
Yeah, there's a kind of a theme in what we're talking about. It's like communication. I think about like AI powered communication tools or chatbots. Like there was one really interesting case study that came out maybe over a month ago where this company basically saved $40 million because they built their own in-house AI chatbot to resolve disputes faster and also with more efficiency. And also people liked the experience more than interacting with a human. But at the same time, it still has limitations. Like, for example, I was trying to get information about a product yesterday. And so I started talking to their AI chatbot, and the responses from the bot were like you could tell it was GPT. It was using these same words like unlock or unleash, like these weird words that come up time and time again. And of course, like in your prompts, you can filter those words out so they don't come up, but you just have to have a really detailed prompt. Like this is what I tell negotiators all the time who are using AI to get ready for their like any type of negotiation really, is like the better input that you have, the better output you're going to get as well. It seems to be like kind of the golden rule for these like single modal sort of AIs right now. But it's crazy where we're headed. I feel like there's so many applications. It's like figuring out which one is actually going to solve a valuable problem, because the bigger the problem that you solve, usually the bigger business, the bigger type of business you can build if that's what you want to do.